Have you ever tried to read a patent? Chances are it will be the case if you need to perform competitive intelligence on a specific domain. Unfortunately, patents often contain unintelligible language even for scientists. In the current example, it reads, in one embodiment, the method comprises introducing to the at least first and/or second parent polypeptide a mutation in one or more amino acid residues, etc. In a preferred embodiment, the method comprising introducing this. In one embodiment, the method comprises introducing that. In a further embodiment, etc., etc. Besides, patents are very long documents. In the current example, this one has 188 pages. Imagine if you need to read the whole thing. Finally, if you need to perform competitive intelligence, chances are that this will be only the first one of many other you actually need to read. In other words, it can quickly become a nightmare. In this video, I'm going to show you how I read a patent in 5 minutes. If you want to read a patent quickly, it is important to understand how the documents are structured. And thankfully, all patent documents are structured similarly. They all start with a front page, which includes the application number, the filing, publication, and priority dates, the applicant name, so this is the company or the individuals who are filing the patent, the inventors, and then the title and abstract. These are very high levels and not very useful. On the next page, you will find the field of the invention. This is a very high-level description of the general domain to which the patent is applicable. Then the background of the invention, a bit more detailed. Then the summary of the invention. This is a little bit like the abstract in a scientific publication. Then, somewhat strangely, a brief description of the drawings. This is actually the legend to the figures, which will come much later in the patent document towards the end. Then the biggest part of the patent document is the detailed description of the invention. This is where most of the unintelligible language is found. And in this part, the goal for the patent attorneys is to really describe every possible way that the invention and the patent could be applied so that it is well protected. Then you will find examples. This is a little bit like the main text in a scientific publication. And in this part, the inventors actually describe how they have applied the patent and the invention. They will refer to the figures and you will also find there some tables, which can be useful to read. Then the claims. This is the most important part for patent attorneys. In here you will find what can actually be protected by the patent. So if something is not described in the claims, even though it is described elsewhere in the patent, it cannot be protected. However, it does again contain some not always very intelligible text. Then the figures. So as mentioned before, in here you will only find schematics and drawings and pictures. The legend is much higher up in the document in the brief description of the drawings. And finally, if the patent is already a bit advanced in the process, you will also find an international search report. This part is provided by the Patent Office and contains the first search for prior art that they will have performed. Now that we have seen how a patent is structured, what I find the most useful is to start with the filing, publication, and priority dates, as well as applicant name and potentially the inventors. These are all on the front page and you can read them in like 10 seconds. Next, what I find the most practical to go quickly is to actually read the patent document like you would for a scientific publication. So go and look at the figures. Go at the end of the document, look for the pictures and drawings and schematics. And in that way, you will already learn a lot what the invention is all about. If that is not enough, you can look for the legend. So again, it is located in the brief description of the drawings. Of course, I realize that legend and figures are in very different places in the patent document. What I advise to do here is to open two versions of the document. In one, you have the figures, in the other one, the legends, and in that way, you will be able to go very quickly through. If looking at the figures is not enough, then go to the examples. As mentioned before, this will be like the main text in your scientific publication. Finally, you may want to go to the claims. I personally don't find this absolutely necessary if you just want to have a general idea of what the patent is about. But if this turns out to be a really important one for your competitive intelligence, you may want to go there to understand exactly what is protected and what is not. One last advice I have is that patent documents that you will find from online search tools are often non-editable PDFs. So if you, for instance, want to highlight a section or leave a comment for future reading, that will not be possible. If that is the case, don't hesitate to download the PDF and transform it into an editable version. There are some free online tools to do this. For instance, I Love PDF is a tool that was advised to me by a colleague and is very useful. All right, I hoped that this video was useful for you, and I'm also curious if you yourself have tips and tricks on how to read patent documents even quicker. If that is the case, do leave a message below. Bye for now.